Don't hold your breath, I said in a low voice to Andrew. We're not so strong in the friends department. He considered that for a moment, then said, I noticed he was really hitting it off with Joshua at Austin's party. They were very similar kids. Right, I said. You can tell because they get beaten up by the same bullies. Stop that. No one's getting beaten up at our school. I meant metaphorically. What's a metaphorical beating? You know. Do I? He bit into the cupcake. This is good, he said through a mouthful of cake, even better than the other ones were. Can I have another one, Noah asked, coming back over to us and handing me the paper liner from his first one. I looked at the frosting smeared around his mouth and said, You're covered in... I stopped and gasped. Oh my God, Noah. What? He stared at me. They all stared at me. These aren't gluten-free. I totally forgot. I had to use one of the store mixes last night. It was so late and I couldn't find a GF one. Did you eat that whole cupcake? He nodded. His lip trembled. I'm sorry. It wasn't your fault. It was mine. I can't believe I did that. Oh, Noah, I'm so sorry. I don't feel very well, he said in a little voice and clutched his stomach. And thus endeth the baseball practice, Andrew said as I re-entered the kitchen 15 minutes later. How's he doing? Much better, lying down. I didn't feel like going into detail about how many times Noah had vomited before feeling better. I slumped into a chair at the kitchen table across from Andrew. Melanie was pouring coffee at the counter. I suck at being a mother, I said. Mel came over with a couple of mugs and put one down in front of each of us. It's not your fault. What are you talking about? I baked the cupcakes and served them to him. In what possible universe would that not be my fault? I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. Yeah, I said, much as I've been tempted at times, I have never deliberately poisoned Noah. I only do it accidentally. He'll be fine. Mel poured a mug of coffee for herself and joined us at the table. I know, that's not the point. I turned to Andrew. Sorry about all this. I'm guessing this wasn't exactly the way you wanted the lesson to end. Yeah, I prefer the kids to sprain something. Anyway, I think this is actually my fault. I asked you to make those cupcakes in the first place. You're right, I said. It is all your fault. You've had it in for Noah from the start. He cocked his head at me. To be sure, you're joking, right? I mean, you don't still really think I'm out to get him, do you? I don't know. It's not like you've ever done anything nice for him, like coach him privately or anything. Vicky isn't good at expressing gratitude, Melanie said to Andrew. That's so not true, I said. But thanks for pointing it out. See how I did that? She ignored that. Can you believe Thanksgiving's coming up so soon, she asked, cradling her mug in both hands. Do you have any special plans, Andrew? Are you going away? He shook his head. Normally I go home, but my parents decided to visit my sister this year. She moved to Canada and had a baby. What a jerk, I said. Exactly. She couldn't have had a baby in LA. Plenty of people do. I gestured to myself and Mel. We did. Right. So then Gracie, that's his girlfriend, said I should join her and her family, but they're going on a Mexican Riviera cruise for the whole week. I don't have Monday and Tuesday off, and anyway, he made a face. Thanksgiving on a cruise? Doesn't that sound depressing? We were agreeing with him when the garage door banged open and my mother entered the kitchen with Eleanor Roosevelt. We came back early from our walk, Mom said as she unhooked the leash. Someone was more interested in chasing squirrels than walking nicely. I thought we'd cured you of that, Mom, I said. Andrew held his hand out toward the dog. Come here, you beauty. He whistled and Eleanor Roosevelt came bounding over. He caressed her ears and scratched down her back. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. She's not that good, I said. Oh, yes, she is, he crooned, tugging gently on her ears. She half closed her eyes, totally blissed out. Oh, yes, she is. Melanie jumped up suddenly from her seat. There's more coffee, Laurel. Here, I'll help you. She pulled my mother over to the counter. They started whispering. I wondered what they were conspiring about now. You have a dog? I asked Andrew as Eleanor Roosevelt nudged his hand hard and then fell onto her back, inviting him to rub her tummy, which he did, although he had to lean way over in his chair to reach it. I wish, God I wish, but Gracie's allergic. Get rid of her. He gave a short laugh. I would for one like this. He thumped Eleanor's chest with his hand and she wagged her tail enthusiastically in response. You just like her because she's pretty, I said with mock disgust. What are you talking about? Look at those eyes. You can tell she's profound. She's just a big stomach, I said, with some cute fluff on the outside to make us put up with the fact that she steals our food and chews our shoes and poops all over the yard. Typical female. Excuse me, I said with great dignity, I haven't pooped on the lawn in years. Well, months at least. Melanie and Mom came over to the table. Melanie said, we were wondering, Andrew, would you do our family the honor of joining us for Thanksgiving dinner? So that's what they were whispering about. He sat upright. That's so nice of you. He sounded a little uncomfortable. Eleanor Roosevelt waited for a moment on her back, then realizing he was done patting her, righted herself and rose to her feet and looked around to see who else might pay her some attention. I hope I didn't sound like I was hinting for an invitation. Not at all, Mel said. It's just that we'd like to have you. We really would, my mother said. Thanksgiving's going to be smaller this year than it's been in the past. She glanced at Melanie, who flushed. It's so nice of you, Andrew said again, but I feel like I'm imposing. You'd be doing us a favor. I'm honored, he said, and touched. He looked at me. You're awfully quiet. What do you think? That if you come, I want to be on your team for the football game. He perked up at that. You guys play football on Thanksgiving? Only when the Kennedys visit. I'd like to see you playing football, he said. He glanced at Mom and Mel, all of you. That he had meant me. I've never played in my life, I said, but I will if you come. That may be an offer I can't refuse. It must have been. A few more minutes of coaxing, and he agreed to come. Oh.